Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Ah, something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
I know my Bible is right. Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
I know that
Something else is wrong.
those of you who read your Bible,
Read your Bible.
you know that the Word of God is really true.
It's really true.
But every time you try to tell somebody, they'll
Contradicting.
Now, I want to tell you a little story about how we met. I was attending to my own business, sitting on my school bus, doing my homework because our school bus had a flat tire and they had to wait to bring another tire out there in the country. We lived 7 miles out from school. But I never missed a day out of school until I was teaching. And I was really adamant about getting my homework or my lesson, we called it back then. And I was sitting on the school bus doing my homework, and this tall, good-looking boy rides up there on a white horse, jumped all out of the buggy and came on our school bus and walked all the way to the back where I was sitting and asked me, "What might be your name?" And I said, "My name might be Hazel Francis." And he said, "Oh my goodness, but I would like to have you to sing on my choir." And I knew I couldn't sing, but at the same time I said, "Well, I'd like to sing on your choir." And I moved to the back of the bus there, and he sat down there beside me, and he began to tell me all about how his choir operated. And I was so excited about going, I thought I was just going to be a figure in the background. But when I got to choir rehearsal, do you know he put me up there on the front row right beside him? And that Sunday, oh, I sang up a blue streak. And so did he. And that's how the story and the procession of this fellowship began. What do you think about that?
David was a man after God's own heart.
There is some.
I like to talk about David,
There is
but
some.
I've got to move on
There is some.
because there is Proverbs,
Read your Bible.
Ecclesiastes,
Read your Bible.
Psalms of Solomon,
Read your Bible.
Isaiah,
Read your Bible.
there is Jeremiah,
Read your Bible.
Lamentation,
Read your Bible.
Ezekiel,
Read your Bible.
Daniel,
Read your Bible.
there is Hosea.
Read your Bible.
I'm sitting here in Dad's pastor study where he prepares his sermons to tell the good news of God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Dad is a remarkable man. In my book, he's the greatest dad in the world. And in my book, he's the greatest man that ever lived. My brother Clarence sums it up as, and he summed it, I didn't know what to call it, he's Superman. Anything we needed, he provided for us. And the things he didn't provide, it was a lesson to us to work hard to get what we want. I remember when I was a little baby, actually, before I could even walk, or when I started walking, Clarence couldn't walk. But Dad instilled the Lord and Jesus Christ into us at a very early age. We wanted to make sure we knew who holds us. Musically, he even started us clapping, and he would play music and sing and make sure that Clarence and I had good rhythm, even before Clarence could walk. I was just walking, but he wanted to make sure that we were musically inclined at that early age. And we couldn't sing, but we could play.
I know my Bible is right. Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
I know that
Something else is wrong.
those of you who read your Bible,
Read your Bible.
you know that Jesus Christ is God's only Son.
God's only Son.
He came down here for all of our sin. The Bible says he
Died for everyone.
and I know my Bible is right. Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Ah, something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
I know my Bible is right. Something else is wrong.
Something is wrong.
I know that
Something.
My favorite song is One of These Mornings. That's my favorite song. My dad would sing with the Five True Believers, and we were at a singing program one evening and at Bethlehem Baptist Church, and he was sung that song. That was the last song he sung. And he sung that song, One of These Mornings, my Lord. Early in the morning, my Lord, I'm gonna lay down my cross and get my crown. One of these evenings, my Lord, late one evening, I'm going home to be with God. And that's what he did. But we were at Bethel Church, and I was 5 or 6 years old, and he was singing that song. And as kids do, I'm in the back, I'm imitating them, and I'm pretending that I got a microphone in my hand, and I'm singing that song with them. And, you know, pretending for a while I'm playing the guitar, and, you know, I can't do anything, can't concentrate on any one thing long because I'm a 5 or 6 year old, you know. So I play the guitar for a while, and I pretend I'm singing background for a while, and I pretend I'm singing lead for a while. And he comes over when he finishes, and he sits beside me, and he's filled, and the Spirit is all over him. And he's sitting there, and although everybody stopped singing, he's still singing. He's sitting there just still singing. One of these mornings, I'm going to see my mother. One of these mornings, I'm going home to be with God. And to me as a kid, it looked like something was all over him, and I said, Daddy. I remember saying, Daddy. And he didn't pay me any attention. So I walked over to him, and I touched him. And that same Holy Spirit that was all over him got all over me and all inside me. And it's been with me my entire life. Thanks, Dad, for blessing me with that.
Bible, and my subject is Jesus Christ, God's only Son. It's alright if you are good, but it doesn't matter if you are bad. I tell you, he
Loves everyone.
in Matthew,
In your Bible.
the 3rd chapter,
In your Bible.
beginning at the 16th verse,
In your Bible.
you'll find that John
In your Bible.
baptized Jesus
In your Bible.
down in the river of Jordan,
In your Bible.
and straightway Jesus
In your Bible.
went up out of the water.
Go.
Man, I don't even really know where to start. Anytime we would go over to Grandmama and Granddaddy's house, we always knew where we could find Granddaddy. He'd be right in there on his couch watching Walker, Texas Ranger all the time. And then as soon as he got up, the first thing me, James, and Johnny did was race to the couch to see who could get there first, because we knew as soon as Granddaddy came back in the room, he was gonna pick that person up and say, "Get out of my couch," and tickle us and play with us and all that. Man, those were good times. Give me a pause.
The devil came to him and said, Jesus, if thou be the Son of God, command these stones be made bread. Jesus said, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. The devil then took Jesus up to the holy city, sit him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said, Jesus, if thou be the Son of God, cast yourself down, for it is written, he shall give the angels.
Reverend J.C. McLean is my role model's role model. As an American businessman, he used his platform to elevate his community in almost every way possible. He was a spiritual leader and songwriter, a provider of affordable housing, and an inspiration to anybody he's ever met. When I came to visit Laurinburg as a child, I always tried to sit in his chair while watching Walker, Texas Ranger. Eventually he got tired of that and poured a cup of ice cold water on my head to run me off. He introduced me to Big Red Gum while we went on road trips in his Lincoln Navigator and showed me style by wearing a different suit each day of the week. We're all gonna miss you, Granddaddy, but this still isn't a goodbye, only a see you later.
Just fall down. All you got to do is worship me. Jesus said, get thee behind me, Satan, because it is written that thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shall thou serve. The devil had to leave Jesus. Angels came and ministered unto him. Jesus heard. My God can see. My God can see everything. Everything that you do. Everything.
How does the son of a sharecropper one day buy a car, build a home, buy an airplane, learn to fly it, start a business, become the first black person to be a member of the school board, become the first black person to own a franchise for Harley-Davidson? How does he build a church and then build another church? How does he get a contract with the bus companies and own and operate the bus station, build a hotel and a restaurant? It was his faith. And he always said, all things are possible. It was because of his faith he was able to overcome every obstacle that ever set foot in front of him. And if you want to honor his life and his legacy, get your faith, strengthen your faith, join a church, sing on a choir, usher on an usher board, serve God, and you'll be honoring him.
Knows how you feel. Knows how you feel. He knows that you feel. Doesn't matter how bad you feel. You just accept I declare God can see you. Can see you. Can see you. He can see you. He can see you. Whatever country you in. Yes, he saw Cain kill Abel. Saw Wilbur kill President Lincoln. Saw Osborne kill President Kennedy. James Earl Ray killed Dr. Martin Luther King. Saw Sirhan kill Robert Kennedy. Yes, see you. See you. See you. See you. See you. See you.
My grandfather was an incredible man. He showed nothing but love and support for his community and his family. He showed nothing but love, especially for his grandchildren. We used to go to Myrtle Beach every Christmas and just live there for 3 to 4 days and have the best time of our life as a family. Most of my childhood memories string from going on those trips with my grandparents, and I love them both very much for those grateful opportunities. My grandfather showed more than just love and passion to the community. He worked hard every Sunday for his church, his family, and for God. Never in my life have I met a man more humble and more appreciative for everything that he's ever had. And that's just about everything he had, everything he ever wanted. His 2 sons, incredible. There could not have been any more, there couldn't have been a better parenting out there for him. JC raised 2 humble, handsome, incredible children, and they grow up to be the greatest uncles ever and the greatest father. I love my family very much, and I'll never forget JC, my grandfather. Especially because not only am I named after him, my family would always tell me that me and him are kind of alike. I love you, Granddad.
Until I get home. Until I get home. You can talk about me. Just as much as you please. But the more you talk, I'm gonna bend my knee. You can talk about me. Just as much as you please. Until I get home. I'm willing to cry just a little bit longer until I get home. I'm willing to cry.
He had that gift of teaching you something, and he didn't even know how to do it. He would teach us how to play. I never understood it until later, that it was God instilled in him, teaching us. But he could teach us how to play music. He couldn't play himself. That was very unique.
Until I get home. Until I get home. Until I get home. Until I get home. Until I get home, Lord. I'm willing to cry just a little longer. Until I get home. Oh, yes, I am. I'm willing to cry just a little longer. When I get it glory, I'll be stronger. I'm willing to cry just a little longer until I get home. Yeah, until I get home. Until I get home, Lord. Until I get home. Until I get home. Until I get home. Until I get home. Till I get home. Oh, yes, I am. I'm willing to cry just a little longer.
Granddaddy was the first person to tell me that I needed to go to college, believe it or not. I remember the conversation very vividly. It was right before I started kindergarten. He was talking to me, he was telling me all these things about life and what I needed to do to plan for my future. Obviously, I wanted to be an NBA basketball star, so I wasn't really thinking past high school because I was looking at people that were going straight to the league right out of high school. So I didn't even know college was a thing. And he looked at me, he said, after 12th grade, what you gonna do? I was like, go to the NBA. He was like, no, you need to go to college. I looked at him, I said, Granddaddy, what's college? And I think about that conversation a lot because now looking back at it, there's no way I wasn't gonna go to college. But as a young 4 or 5-year-old, I didn't know that. And Granddaddy was the first person to actually let me know and put me on game as to what I actually needed to be doing as far as my education and as far as my real life.
He's my king.
He's my king.
He has all power
All power
in his hands.
power in his hand.
Oh, he can save,
He can save,
he can heal,
he can heal.
fight my battle if I keep still.
If I keep
Oh,
still,
he's great.
he's great.
He's almighty.
He's almighty.
He's my king.
He's my king.
Ah, he's great.
He's great.
He's almighty.
He's almighty.
He's my king.
He's my king.
Yes, he knows.
He knows
What the future will bring.
He taught us how to interact with people as he would sell cars and how he would deal with different people, different personalities. We were little, when we watched, we just observed how he handled people in a kind way, even if they were irate. He still had a way of being nice to them and being kind to them.
He's
In
great.
the midnight hour,
He's great.
sweat is on your brow.
He's great.
That's how you feel discouraged.
He's great.
Trust him anyhow.
He's
Oh, he's great.
He's great.
He's almighty.
He's almighty.
He's my king.
He's my king.
The devil had to leave Jesus. Angels came and ministered unto him. Jesus heard that John was cast in prison. He departed back to Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is up on the seacoast, in the borders of Zebulun, and in the borders of Nephthalim. From that time, Jesus began to preach. Jesus said, repent.
My dad always taught me to love my fellow man. And he didn't just tell me that, he showed me. He showed me through the way he took care of his family, through the way he helped people in the community. He was always trying to find a way to help somebody. And I remember as a kid, I used to say, Dad, why do you always try to do something for other people? And he said, because the works that I do will come back, and my children and my children's children will reap the benefits of that. And I've seen it happen. So I want to thank you, Dad, for working so hard for other people. And I've seen the benefits of it, and I've seen it in your grandchildren. They've accomplished some wonderful things.
All manner of sickness and all manner of diseases among the people. His fame went throughout Samaria. There followed him great multitudes. People from all around Galilee. People from all around Decapolis. From all around Jerusalem. From all around Judea. People from down beyond Jordan. They began to follow Jesus and see the multitude. Jesus went up into a mountain, and after he had said, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them. Jesus said, blessed are the poor in spirit, theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
He gave us the opportunity to go out to see what our gifts or our talents were. He gave us that room to do that. However, it had to be in line with God. If it wasn't in line with God, he'd pull us back. I remember I got in a band playing bass guitar for a band. And he found out just before our concert that I was in a band, a rock band. However, because it was so close to the concert, he let me play. But he said, this is it. You're out after this concert. That's the kind of man he was. We could do what we wanted, but it had to be in line with God.
They shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers. They shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake. But theirs are the kingdom of heaven. If you do not believe in Jesus, you need. If you do not believe in Jesus, you need to be. I read my Bible, read it day by day, and I remember what my Bible says. Says if I serve God, serve Him night and day, said He would surely make a way.
A lot of people know me for my athletic prowess and my athleticism. I even got the nickname Clay Got Bounce in high school because I could jump so high. All that started way back when young Clay took his very first steps in Grandmama and Granddaddy's kitchen. They were both so proud of me, and every time I saw Granddaddy after that, he always made sure I remember that it all started right there with him and with Grandmama, taking my first steps in that kitchen from the fireplace to him sitting at his chair in the kitchen table.
You said before my word shall fail, heaven and earth would pass away, and God's word will never pass away. Oh no, I'm glad the great day has already come when everybody can be as one. We don't have to have a whole lot of separation. We don't have to have a whole lot of discrimination. Yeah, Jesus died for us all. He said together we'll stand, but divided we'll fall. In God's word will never pass away. Oh no, God's word will never pass away. Oh no, I'm so glad His word will never pass away. Oh no, yes, He said before, one jot of my word shall fail. Heaven and earth would pass away, and God's word will never pass away. Oh no, listen, God's word, God's word, God's word. I'm talking about God's word. Isaiah spoke about the coming of the Messiah before he left his home on high. In Matthew's gospel, I heard a man cry, say Jesus is born, he surely must die. They closed my Lord.
My dad always taught me that faith and fear can't coexist, that where faith lives, fear will flee. He always said, you make one step, and God will make two. And that's three. So go for it.
They heard a rumbling like a chariot wheel. They said, oh John, what does